Hello everyone and welcome back. Thanks for joining me again in this mini video series about the role of cloud solution architect. In this video, we will move on to the step 2 in the cloud architectural methodology, cloud strategy and planning. But before we begin, let's quick review what we learned in the previous video. We talked about how cloud solutions architects help to turn the business vision in the real-world working cloud solution that is scalable, secure, and efficient. We also introduce a structured 7-step methodology. This helps ensure that every part of the cloud journey is carefully planned and well executed. Some key takeaways included the need to align the technology with the business goals, the importance of working closely with stakeholders and how to identify and manage constraints early on. We also emphasize the value of the thinking strategically and building solution that is ready for the future. As we continue through this series, we will go deeper to each step and use real-world example to show how these ideas working in practice. So let's start this video. As a cloud solutions architect, cloud strategy and planning entails a systematic approach to align cloud adoption with business objectives, technical requirements, and constraints. But before we go to step 2, cloud strategy and planning, let's address how step 1, understanding the business objectives and requirements, differ from step 2, cloud strategy and planning. Purpose distinguishes them. Step 1 focuses on discovery, identifying the organization's business goals, technical needs, and constraints through stakeholder engagement to understand what the business aims to achieve and why. Step 2 emphasizes planning, translating these goals into a strategic cloud adoption roadmap to outline how objectives will be met using cloud services. Activities and outputs further differentiate the steps. Step 1, understanding business objectives and requirements, involves stakeholder interviews, workshops, business strategy analysis, technical requirement gathering, and constraint identification like budget compliance. Step 2, cloud strategy and planning, entails selecting cloud models like IaaS, deployment types, public-private hybrid, and providers, while developing a phased adoption plan, considering cost, risk, and governance. Outputs also vary. Step 1 yields documented business objectives, technical requirements and constraints in stakeholder maps, traceability matrices, and risk registers. Step 2 delivers a cloud adoption roadmap with selected services, timelines, and governance policies, often visualized in architecture diagrams or project plans. Let's say that you are asked to create a project and implementation as a cloud solutions architect for the Zoran Trend Retail online sales company. First, a brief recap. Zoran Trend Retail, an online retailer generating $20 million annually from clothing and related products, employs 150 staff and serves 500,000 customers, including European clients. Their website and mobile app manage 10,000 daily visitors, peaking at 50,000 during events like Black Friday. Their current infrastructure, relying on aging on-premises servers in Chicago and Denver, comprises 10 physical racks running 20 virtual machines, each with 16 vCPUs and 64 gigabytes of RAM. Performance challenges include slow app response times, averaging 500 milliseconds, spiking to 2 seconds during peak usage, 200,000 actions per hour peaks, and an unstable 1 terabyte database storing 10 million sales records and 500,000 customer profiles, which has crashed twice for 4 hours each, resulting in $250,000 in lost sales. Annual operating costs total $300,000, $25,000 a month, including $80,000 for power, $120,000 for software licenses, and $100,000 for impending hardware replacements. As a cloud solutions architect, you'll apply insights from step 1, understanding business objectives and requirements, to this online clothing retailer. Zoran Trend Retail, with substantial annual revenue, employs approximately 150 staff and serves a broad customer base, including European clients, simulating a practical business scenario. Zoran Trend Retail's website and mobile app handle steady traffic, with significant surges during events like Black Friday. Their on-premises infrastructure in Chicago and Denver relies on outdated servers, resulting in slow up response times, often over 500 milliseconds, an unstable database prone to crashes, and high operating costs for power, licenses, and maintenance. These crashes have caused substantial revenue losses. Through step 1, understanding business objectives and requirements, stakeholder interviews, and document reviews revealed Zoran Trend Retail's objectives are achieving 99.9% uptime, reducing up latency below 300 milliseconds, implementing fast AI-driven product recommendation, ensuring scalability for peak traffic, and securing significant cost savings while maintaining GDPR compliance for European customers. They target an initial migration within 3 months on a limited budget and full implementation within 5 months. First, define cloud adoption goals. Using stakeholder inputs, we establish Zoran Trend Retail's cloud adoption objectives, ensuring high availability with 99.9% uptime for the website, mobile app, and database to avoid costly crashes. Achieving low latency with up response times under 300 milliseconds for steady and peak traffic. Providing fast, relevant AI-driven product recommendations to enhance customer experience. Enabling scalability to manage traffic surges during events like Black Friday, securing significant cost savings within budget constraints, and maintaining GDPR compliance for European customer data. Next, assess cloud models and deployment types. We evaluate cloud models and deployment types, selecting a hybrid cloud for Zoran Trend Retail. Azure App Service, a PaaS solution, supports the website and mobile app with simplified development and autoscaling for steady and peak traffic, minimizing management overhead. For the database, Azure Virtual Machines with the Azure SQL Database and IaaS approach provide performance control and GDPR compliance, addressing previous instability. In this hybrid setup, sensitive customer data resides in GDPR-compliant Azure EU regions, private or public cloud, while non-sensitive workloads like the website operate on a public cloud for cost efficiency. Next, select cloud providers and services. We choose Microsoft Azure for its GDPR-compliant EU data centers, advanced AI and machine learning capabilities, and cost-effective pricing. Azure Ops Service powers the website and mobile app, enabling autoscaling for steady and peak traffic. Azure SQL Database with georeplication ensures near-perfect uptime and database stability. Azure Machine Learning provides fast, relevant, AI-driven product recommendations. Azure Blob Storage manages static assets such as product images to reduce latency. Azure Content Delivery Network, CDN, delivers low-latency content to US and European customers. Azure Monitor tracks latency below 300 milliseconds and 99.9% uptime. Azure Cost Management and Billing ensures spending remains within budget constraints. Next, develop a cloud adoption roadmap. We create a phased roadmap to meet Zoran Trend Retail's 3-month initial and 5-month full implementation deadlines,
prioritizing high-impact workloads. Phase 1, January to March 2025, allocates $50,000. $30,000 to migrate the website and mobile app to Azure App Service for steady and peak traffic. $10,000 to deploy Azure CDN for under 300 millisecond latency. $5,000 to establish Azure Cost Management for spending tracking. And $5,000 to train 10 IT staff on Azure fundamentals. Phase 2, April to May 2025, allocates the remaining $50,000. $25,000 to migrate the database to Azure SQL Database with geo-replication for stability. $15,000 to implement Azure Machine Learning for AI-driven recommendations. $5,000 to configure autoscaling for peak traffic, and $5,000 to establish GDPR-compliant data policies in EU regions. By May 2025, the system will be fully operational with AI, scalability, and compliance. Dependencies include database migration, following app migration, and AI requiring database stability. Azure Migrate tracks migrations, and Azure DevOps manages the project, ensuring efficient resource use across phases. Next, incorporate AI and automation. AI and automation are pivotal to Zoran Trend Retail's objectives. Azure Machine Learning analyzes customer and sales data to provide fast, relevant product recommendations, enhancing customer satisfaction. Automation includes autoscaling in Azure App Service to manage peak traffic while reducing costs during low traffic. Azure Functions handles serverless tasks, such as image processing, to minimize resource waste. Azure Advisor offers automated recommendations for cost and performance optimization. For instance, during Black Friday, autoscaling ensures the app accommodates traffic surges, while Azure Machine Learning delivers real-time product recommendations. Next, address constraints and risks. Stakeholder interviews identified constraints and risks to address. Budget constraints for the 3-month initial and 5-month full migration are managed using serverless and PaaS solution to minimize costs. The 3-month deadline prioritizes website migration. GDPR compliance for European customers mandates Azure EU regions and encryption. Technical constraints, such as outdated servers and an unstable database, require refactoring plans. Limited staff expertise in Azure is addressed through budgeted training. Risks include potential database migration failures, mitigated by sandbox testing with Azure Database Migration Service. Staff inexperience is countered with Phase 1 training. Cost overrun are prevented using Azure Cost Management and reserved instances. These mitigations are documented in the risk register and reviewed during stakeholder workshops. Key takeaways: the cloud strategy and planning phase for Zoran Trend Retail utilizes Azure's PaaS, EOS, and AI services within a hybrid cloud to achieve 99.9% uptime, latency below 300 milliseconds, AI-driven product recommendation, and substantial cost savings. The phased roadmap, supported by governance policies, adheres to budget and timeline constraints while addressing GDPR and technical challenges. The next step, proof of concept, will validate this strategy.
And that was all in this video. See you in next one, POC, proof of concept.